Ukraine continues to cross Russia's red lines. Putin continues to flicker. Ukraine's protection from Russia's attack continues to cross President Vladimir Putin's red lines. Kyiv's lightning attack into Kursk in western Russia this month cut through the reddest line of all, an immediate ground attack on Russia. Yet Putin's reaction has so far been strikingly uninvolved and muffled, in sharp differentiation to his manner of speaking prior in the conflict. On the very first moment of the intrusion in February 2022, Putin cautioned that any country that hindered Russia would confront outcomes. For example, you have never found in your whole history a danger that appeared to be aimed at nations that could arm Ukraine. In the event that Russia's regional uprightness were undermined, we will positively utilize every one of the means available to us to safeguard Russia and our kin. It's anything but a feign, he said a couple of months after the fact in September. The residents of Russia should rest assured that the regional respectability of our homeland, our autonomy and opportunity will be guaranteed, I stress this, in the future, with every one of the means available to us. Making an unmistakable reference to Russia's atomic weapons. Yet Ukraine's punch through Russian protections in the primary unfamiliar attack since the Second Great War uncovered Russia's tactical defects and revealed Moscow's evidently deceptive red lines. Presently, some are again scrutinizing the focal point of Washington's Ukraine methodology. A sluggish, aligned supply of weapons to Ukraine to try not to heighten pressures with Russia that pundits contend has run Kyiv's possibilities, driving Russia out and brought about a crushing conflict of steady loss with huge setbacks. Ukraine's Kursk attack demonstrated the Russians are feigning, said Oleksandr Danilyuk, a previous Ukrainian Knowledge and Guard official, presently a partner individual with the Regal Joint Administrations Foundation, a research organization in London. It closes down every one of the voices of the pseudo-specialists, the counter-acceleration folks. The assault was dangerous, he proceeded. However, it conveyed an exceptionally strong message and assisted us with changing the story about Ukraine, that it can't win, and on the Russian red lines. The two accounts have been annihilated. Ukraine's assaults have over and over crossed apparent red lines, sinking Russia's Dark Ocean lead, Moskva. The 2022 Crimea extension impact. Tempest Shadow rocket assaults on the Armada Central Command in Sevastopol. The 2023 robot assaults on the Kremlin and Moscow, the deaths of proselytizers on Russian region, and assaults on essential air bases many miles from Ukraine. The Western equipment being utilized by Ukrainian powers, HIMARS, tanks, ATACMS and F-16s, were all once red lines as well. At the point when Ukrainian robots struck Moscow in May 2023, hitting a Kremlin vault and shutting significant air terminals, Putin made light of the issue. Examiner Tatiana Stanovaya composed at the time in an examination for the Carnegie Blessing for Worldwide Harmony. Inside a couple of months it appeared to be that the Kremlin's red lines had either never existed or had become very portable. The Kremlin professed to be unperturbed, she stated, regardless of whether it contradicts sound judgment. It was to turn into a striking example, yet the US drove strategy on military guide to Ukraine has stayed hesitant, as indicated by numerous experts. Boris Bondarev, a Geneva-based previous Russian representative who surrendered in 2022 to fight the conflict, said in a meeting that Washington's feeling of dread toward setting off an immediate military clash with Russia had disabled the US reaction, leaving its objectives in the conflict hazy and extending American shortcoming to Putin and other worldwide enemies. At the point when you put your adversary's red lines, as it were, as the essential component of your own technique, you will constantly be on the horrible side, he said. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, on Tuesday, utilized the Kursk invasion to contend against Washington's limitations that bar Kyiv's utilization of Western weapons to strike further at military focuses in Russia. For example, the air bases Russia utilizes for its staggering skim bomb assaults. We are seeing a critical philosophical shift. The credulous, deceptive idea of supposed red lines with respect to Russia, which ruled the evaluation of the conflict by certain accomplices, has disintegrated, separated nowadays, Zelensky said. While Ukraine's Kursk invasion has changed estimations, it has not moved the crucial equilibrium in that frame of mind, with Moscow proceeding with its emphasis on eastern Ukraine, surrounding the city of Pokrovsk in Donetsk locale, a key strategic center that could prepare for additional Russian advances assuming it falls. Assuming that Washington permitted Ukraine to strike military targets further inside Russia with US weapons, it would run at this point another no. Yet Sergei Markov, a supportive of Kremlin examiner, recommended that Moscow had previously considered this in Russia, there is no question that such consent will be given, he said. Russia as of now thinks about that the choice has been taken by the US. Russia attempted to plainly define these red boundaries. However, the US, which is a member in the contention, concluded that, "We won't cross any large red lines yet, just little ones," he said. They concluded, "We will cut these red lines into many little slim red strings, to cross them one small step at a time so there was no enormous occasion which could turn into a reason for war." A Russian scholastic with close connections to senior Moscow representatives said the Russian initiative was taking the utilization of US. Furthermore, Western weapons more profound in Russia, truly, yet said it wasn't evident whether a choice had been made on the most proficient method to answer. He talked on the state of secrecy to honestly examine consultations in Moscow. Russian specialists have been trying to make light of the meaning of the Ukrainian invasion and disappointment of its tactical initiative. The presence of Ukrainian soldiers in 15 to 20 mostly secret towns in the Kursk area was of little importance, contrasted with Russian advances in Donetsk, Markov said. However, on the off chance that Ukraine involved all of Glushkovsky Lokal in Kursk or took the provincial capital Kursk city, this would be an exceptionally large misfortune that could compel Putin to change his methodology, he added.